When the ascending mortal awakens beyond the first mansion world, the journey does not become vague, dreamlike, or less real. It becomes more organized, more social, more intellectual, more alive. The second mansion world is where Mansonia life begins to take fuller shape. The survivor is no longer merely adjusting to survival. The shock of transition has passed. The first great restorations have begun. Personality has been preserved. Memory has continued. The mortal identity has survived death. Now, the ascending soul begins to enter a larger life. On this second sphere, working groups begin to form. Social organizations take shape. Communities become more definite. The advancing mortals begin to participate in new social orders and early forms of governmental arrangement. This is not isolation. It is not a lonely heaven. It is society reborn on a higher level. And one of the most beautiful things revealed about these worlds is their fraternity. Different orders of beings live and work together. Spirit-fused survivors and adjuster-fused mortals share the mansion worlds. Celestial beings differ in nature, origin, and destiny, but they are friendly and fraternal. There is nothing here like the intolerance of human life. No cruel caste systems, no inherited prejudice, no social contempt. The mansion worlds are ordered, but not oppressive. Diverse, but not divided. Hierarchical, but not proud. As the ascending mortal advances from sphere to sphere, the mansion worlds become increasingly filled with morontia activity. More and more, the features of Jerusalem begin to appear. And on the second mansion world, the Sea of Glass makes its appearance, a sign that the mortal is moving closer to the system capital and into a wider universe culture. Each advance from one mansion world to another brings a new morontia body. The survivor sleeps during seraphic transport and awakens in the resurrection halls with a newly adjusted form. But this time, unlike the first resurrection from mortal death, the thought adjuster does not leave during the transit sleep. The personality remains intact. The self continues. The child of time is not erased and recreated. The real person persists, and the memory of the soul is not lost. The purely animal and material associations of mortal life perish with the physical brain, but everything that had survival value, everything true, meaningful, worthwhile, and spirit-bearing is preserved by the adjuster. These worthwhile experiences remain part of personal memory throughout the ascending career, from mansion world to mansion world, from universe section to universe section, even on the long road toward paradise. This is one of the great consolations of the mansion world revelation. Nothing real is lost. No genuine love is wasted. No true loyalty disappears. No spiritual meaning is destroyed by death. The ascending mortal continues to eat, drink, and rest. The morontia life is not a ghostly abstraction. It is embodied, functional, and experiential. The survivor partakes of morontia food, a living energy unknown on the material worlds. The body is no longer grossly material, yet it is not purely spiritual. On Mansonia number 1, the survivor is still near human, not far removed from mortal limitations. But from sphere to sphere, the mortal grows less material, more intellectual, and gradually more spiritual. The second mansion world has a special ministry. The first world largely addresses biological and experiential deficiencies, matters connected with physical life, family experience, parental function, and planetary incompleteness. But the second world turns more directly toward the mind. Here, intellectual conflict is removed. Mental disharmony is healed. The survivor continues the effort to understand morontia moda, that higher wisdom which bridges the gap between human logic and universe meaning. The mortal mind, once confused by the tensions of material life, begins to find harmony. Contradictions are clarified. Mental wounds are treated. Fragmented thinking is reorganized. The soul begins to breathe in a more spacious intellectual atmosphere. The second mansion world is a place of mental healing, not by erasing the self, not by denying the mortal struggle, but by bringing the mind into clearer relation with truth. Then comes the third mansion world, and here the tone changes. The first two worlds are largely corrective. They repair, supplement, and stabilize what was missing in the mortal life. But the third mansion world begins something more positive. Here, true progressive morontia culture begins. Mansonia number 3 is the headquarters of the mansion world teachers. These teachers, advanced and glorified cherubim, serve throughout the mansion worlds and onward through the higher morontia spheres. They are not distant lecturers. They are affectionate instructors of the ascending career, guiding mortals from the earliest stages of survival toward the final training worlds of the local universe. They will remain with the ascending mortals for ages, and when the time comes to leave the local universe of origin, they will be among the last to bid the survivors an affectionate farewell. This third world also opens wider access to the surrounding transition spheres. On the first mansion world, the survivor may visit the first transition world, home of the finaliters and the probationary nursery. On the second, permission is given to visit the second transition world, where morontia supervisors and training schools are located. But on the third mansion world, the survivor receives permission to visit the third transition sphere, headquarters of angelic orders and their system training schools. Visits to Jerusalem become increasingly profitable. The universe grows larger. The mortal begins to understand that ascension is not merely personal survival. It is entrance into an immense, organized, educational, affectionate cosmos. On the third mansion world, the survivor begins to achieve in a more positive sense. This is a world of personal and social achievement. Here, the training moves beyond correction and into culture. The mortal begins to grasp the relationship between morontia moda and mortal logic, between higher meaning and human philosophy. This is the beginning of true metaphysics, not speculation for its own sake, but the intelligent comprehension of cosmic meanings and universe relationships. The soul starts to understand reality as a living whole. Mind, spirit, personality, society, destiny, and universe purpose begin to connect. What was once believed in fragments is now studied in relation. What was once hoped for becomes structured knowledge. What was once faith becomes participation. The second mansion world heals the mind. The third mansion world educates the soul. Together, they show that the afterlife is not a static reward, but a progressive universe education. The Father does not merely preserve his children. He trains them. He restores them. He socializes them. He enlightens them. He prepares them for wider service. The mansion worlds are not clouds. They are schools. They are communities. They are healing worlds. They are living worlds. And the ascending mortal, once a struggling creature of time, now begins to discover the first great truth of the morontia career. Survival is only the beginning. The real ascent has just begun.